This is why they have Walsh. This is why they have Evan. This is what they do. All right? And yeah, Biden slapped him with sanctions. I don't know how much it means. I really don't. It's the largest round of sanctions since Russia invaded Ukraine 2 years ago. But Congress is saying, you know what, Ukraine, I don't know. I don't know that we should get involved. Let's bring in Representative Rich McCormick, Republican, Georgia, member of the House Armed Services Committee and Foreign Affairs Committee, and he served as well. It's very good to have you, Congressman. The idea that Ukraine, well, let's deal with the instant circumstance. What's the chance that you get her back?
That's a great question. You can see what Vladimir is basically an evil guy. He's had a couple people assassinated recently. There's 3 in the last year that we know of that he's assassinated. He's jailed people for no reason at all. This guy invaded a country with no cause. He's kidnapped thousands of children. He's executed people who had their hands tied behind their back who are civilians. This is an evil dude.
Your party members say to you, can't give money to Ukraine. Zelensky's the bad guy, not Putin. They're stealing all our money. It doesn't matter to us. We should stay out of it. Between the propaganda and the isolationism, do you think there's a chance that you can get aid to Ukraine? And what's your concern if you can't?
I do. And as a matter of fact, I just got back from Brussels. I was at the NATO Parliamentary Assembly. I'm one of the voting members of NATO. Europe's concerned, and they should be. They're in dire straits right now. If you look at the GDP of the United States, which is roughly $27 trillion, Europe, especially NATO units, which is a portion of Europe, all of Europe is around 20 to 25 trillion at most. Russia is at 1.8 trillion, roughly. We should be crushing these guys. We should be using hackers. We should be disrupting their infrastructure. We should be underselling their energy consumption or their energy cells. We should be doing whatever we can to make their life miserable. And that includes Iran, by the way. Don't forget that Iran is messing with us, not only in Ukraine, not only with Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis, but also they're going to be adding to China's repertoire when they go into Taiwan. Iran needs to be dealt with in a big way.
I'm with you about Iran. I hate how quiet it is. But what do you say to your party members who say, nah, Zelensky's the problem. Ukraine is dirty. Yeah. Let's stay out of it.
Here's the problem is every country besides the United States has the same problem that everybody else does, which is a corrupt government. We look right across the border at Mexico. They have a corrupt government. We have tons of corrupt governments, but what we have is what we have. We have to protect Europe. They have 70% of Europe's grain stores. They have a huge amount of steel, titanium. They're one of the most resource-rich countries in the world. If we lose them strategically, those assets go to an enemy, a known enemy, Russia, and they will sell that stuff to China and to Iran and to our enemies. This will have a generational component that will punish us for generations to come. And also, don't forget, the money that we spent in Ukraine comes to about 90% of that comes back to us, including aid that comes from Europe. A lot of that comes to the United States to stabilize our defense industry, which we drastically need. If we think about what's going on all over the world and the consumption of the 777 rounds, the HIMARS, the Stingers, the Javelins, all the things we're going to need over in Taiwan also, don't think we're going to survive this alone. This isolationist mentality has never worked. It should speak highly volumes, including Mike Pompeo, who just got back from Kyiv, by the way. And I was invited to go to that. I couldn't go to both the NATO summit and Kyiv. But think about this. Every single Secretary of State that's alive, every single one, every single Secretary of Defense that's alive, whether it be Democrat or Republican, including Trump's Secretary of State, thinks we should be involved and that we should defend this country because it is the right thing to do. We've given them our word in the Budapest Accord. We've given them our word with NATO. We have a strategic interest in this country. We need to make sure we protect our own interests, and we cannot be isolationist because it has never worked in history.
Congressman, appreciate your candor. Thank you for coming on the show. You're always welcome, and thank you for your service. Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.